British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
From the Broadcast Center at BCIT's Burnaby Campus, this is All Talk Radio. You're listening to 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon. I am Vivek Nakra and these are your news updates to 12:30. The Canucks will take on Edmonton tonight for Game 5 of the playoffs, but getting a jersey is almost as expensive as getting a ticket. Our reporter Ryan Sheridan has more on how to secure Canucks wear this playoff season.
Jerseys are flying off the shelves all across Metro Vancouver, but you have to be careful on where you're buying from. According to the owner of Pastime Sports, Ken Richardson, there has been an increase of knockoff jerseys. Richardson explains that an easy way to spot a fake is the price. Official licensed jersey prices vary from $195 to $350. Richardson says stock is getting smaller and sales are doubling as the Canucks progress in the series. Ryan Sheridan, BCIT's The Crow.
Pro-Palestinian encampment on UVic campus is increasing number of complaints about harassment and also illegal activities. The president of University of Victoria says that they included rising acts of vandalism, spreading misinformation and unauthorized use of buildings at after-hour times. The police in Sanik arrested man on Tuesday as he was threatening people inside an academic center for indigenous students. Kevin Hall says that the man was believed to have set up a tent on campus earlier this week. Fire season in British Columbia is already on the way, with evacuation orders being implemented for various regions around the province. Our reporter Sia Forioy discusses how community residents and visitors can prevent urban areas.
With ground fires burning throughout the year, coupled with drought from this past winter, British Columbians are bracing for a potential wildfire season. The government is providing as many resources as possible to residents and visitors alike to educate themselves on the dangers of urban fires, from clearing dry leaves and debris from your property to being extra cautious when camping. Fire prevention is everyone's responsibility, according to Paul Rushton of the Burnaby Fire Department. The Ministry of Forests for BC is letting people know that most fires are preventable. Caution should be taken when traveling and encourage people to know the policy of know before they go. Sia Forio, BCIT's The Crow.
Increased humidity and cooler temperatures are expected in parts of province in the coming days. BC Wildfire Services says that low-pressure system moving into the north was expected to aid firefighting efforts. According to them, the condition remains unseasonably dry for this time of the year, raising the risk of fire sparking and spreading. There are more than 120 active wildfires across, including fire outside Fort Nelson and Petrie Creek fire. The Toronto International Film Festival says that a planned content market for screen-based wheelers and dealers will launch at its 2026 edition. TIFF expects that its market will become the North American hub for buying and selling screen-based products, intellectual property, and other content across all platforms. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he is still aiming to host the North American Leaders Summit this year. Canada is not having a set date to host it. Despite Mexico heading to the pause next month and the US election coming up in November, Trudeau says that he wants to welcome leaders this year.
Getting together to work on common issues is a huge priority. We continue to work bilaterally on a number of issues, but of course with Mexico having the presidential elections this year, as well as the American presidential elections, it's a little more challenging to pull together the Three Amigos Summit, but we still intend to hold it in 2024.
A fiery crash involving a tanker truck has shut down a stretch of Colorado's main east highway on the outskirts of Denver. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Officer says that the crash involved the tanker and up to other 6 vehicles. According to Colorado Department of Transportation, section of I-70 in the foothills will be closed through the afternoon. The weather today is cloudy with a temperature of 17 degrees. There are chances of showers over the city by evening and temperature is expected to fall by then. Weather will be sunny on Friday and is expected to rain on Saturday. That was your news updates to 12:30. I am Vivek Nakra and you are still listening to the BCIT The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
The British.
This is sports on 1680 The Crow.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zach Arabko, and here is today's sports update to 12:40 p.m. The Vancouver Canucks are preparing for Game 5 against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. The Canucks had a disappointing ending in Game 4, losing 3-2 off of a last-minute goal scored by Oilers defenseman Evan Bouchard. Canucks coach Rick Tocchet was disappointed after the loss, saying there are 5 to 6 guys on the team who need to improve their play. According to Sportsnet's Brendan Batchelor, Tocchet used his signature move, the line blender, at today's morning skate. Forwards Ilya Mikheyev, Sam Lafferty, and Linus Karlsson were the extras during line rushes, being replaced by Niels Höglander, Vasily Podkolzin, and Phil Di Giuseppe. Defenseman Noah Juleson is expected to be scratched tonight in place of defenseman Carson Soucy, who is returning from his one-game suspension. Tocchet is expected to give the net to rookie goaltender Arthur Seelovs in today's game. He will face Edmonton's Calvin Pickard. The puck drops at 7 p.m. in Rogers Arena. Canucks fans have been eager to support their team, waving their white towels, displaying car flags, and buying merchandise. However, getting a jersey is almost as expensive as getting a playoff ticket. Our reporter Ryan Sheridan has more on how to secure Canucks gear for this playoff season.
Jerseys are flying off the shelves all across Metro Vancouver, but you have to be careful on where you're buying from. According to the owner of Pastime Sports, Ken Richardson, there has been an increase of knockoff jerseys. Richardson explains that an easy way to spot a fake is the price. Official licensed jersey prices vary from $195 to $350. Richardson says stock is getting smaller and sales are doubling as the Canucks progress in the series. Ryan Sheridan, BCIT's The Crow.
The BC Lions continue their training camp in Kamloops this week. One of the team's new acquisitions is defensive end and Vancouver native Christian Covington. Co-general manager Neil McAvoy is excited to bring a player with NFL experience onto his roster.
He's helped our young defensive linemen out, and he's, when you add a guy who has that type of experience in professional football, it's always a good addition to the team, especially if he's a nice guy. The cherry on top is the fact that he's a local guy, like you said, a player who played high school football in Vancouver and, is proud to be a kid from the Lower Mainland.
Covington was originally drafted by the BC Lions in the 2015 CFL Draft and the Houston Texans in the 2015 NFL Draft. Covington played in the NFL for the Houston Texans, Dallas Cowboys, Cincinnati Bengals, and Los Angeles Chargers from 2015 to 2022. He spent the 2023 season on the practice squad for the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers. Vancouver Bandits training camp is underway at the Langley Event Center as well. The Bandits are looking to improve from their 8-12 record last season. General manager Kyle Julius says he is happy that he has gotten to surround team MVP Nick Ward with more talent, such as players like Zach Copeland, Kobe McEwen, and Taze Moore.
We feel like the combination of those three guys together is quite dynamic. And then at the same time, we still have Nick Ward, who was arguably the best one-on-one player in the league last year offensively. So I think we've added some more scoring and some more dynamic offense around, Nick this year, which I think should be a difference maker.
7 British Columbian players, highlighted by Drew Urquhart and 4th overall draft pick Adam Olsen, are also attending the training camp this year. The Bandits open their season at home on May 23rd against the Montreal Alliance. The second major of golf's calendar year is underway in Louisville, Kentucky today. Xander Schauffele is off to a hot start, leading the field at 9 under par. Schauffele's 62 strokes ties the lowest score in men's major championship history. 6 Canadians are participating in this major. Adam Hadwin is currently tied for 9th and has the lowest score amongst the Canadians at 3 under par. Corey Connors and Adam Svensson are tied for 25th at 1 under par. Taylor Pendrith, Nick Taylor, and Mackenzie Hughes are tied for 85th at 1 over par. That concludes the sports update to 1240. My name is Zach Arabko, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow. Really? How's the weather going? Is it any nice outside? Been busy working on stories all day. Good. I really wish that the timer started at 12:40 instead of 12:39 on my computer, because that would have helped me with my pacing considerably better. It's really... Yeah, exactly. It could be worse. It really could be. It's the obvious Canucks playoff game. It'll be a big one. We're at least going to get 2 more games, so that should be fun watches.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.